Good Monday to everyone. Father Pat Garrett with us this morning. And Father Pat, I want to talk, you want to talk really about your uh, column that you wrote in Sunday's bulletin, We Must Pursue the Common Good Together. And in order to jump off into that, we ran a little bit of wisdom from St. John Paul in our Friday flock note that I think might pertain to the common ground and achieving it together. Freedom consists not in doing what we like, but in having the right to do what we ought. And I think maybe if you can perhaps make some correlation between that thought and working together toward the common good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because we do think, right? Freedom is all about just doing whatever we want, right? And unfortunately, our basic instinct is to want to do things selfishly, right? Our basic instinct is to be utilitarian, right? To view relationships, to view friendships, to view those things in a utilitarian way. And what's the utility? What's in it for me, right? And that's the way we pursue things. And I think that's a lot of what's wrong with our society today, right? Is that everybody just pursues things, and you know what's in it for me, the whole idea of victimhood, and everyone, and we're not looking out for each other, we're not looking out for the common good. um and that's why we can't even dialogue together today. And in my article, my newsletter in the bulletin this weekend, right, I quoted John F. Kennedy here, right? Our one Catholic president, right? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And that is what that's what John Paul's talking about, right? That's what freedom is about. Freedom's not about what the country can give me and all of this, what can I do here and all of that. But freedom is about doing what we ought, reaching out to each other in love, doing what's good for the country, doing what's good for that common good. And we so often lose sight of that. But when we can come together for the common good, when we can come together in love, we start finding that that everything we do comes so much easier, right? So in this weekend's gospel, when Jesus talked about come to me, the weary, and my burdens are light. Well, that's how he makes our burdens light, is by us coming together and working together, and working together through all of our problems, through all of the trials that we see. And if we can just do that with love, it just makes everything so much easier.
You mentioned a few moments ago how we have a difficulty dialoguing today. Is any idea how we can get back to where we can have effective discourse?
Well, the root of the problem is another ism, right? Relativism. All of that stems from individualism, right? So individualism leads to relativism, which leads to utilitarianism, that it's all about me, right? And it's all about what I want. And relativism, that it's only what my perspective, what I think is right. And if everybody just, well, the truth is whatever I want to believe, then there's no common ground to dialogue with. And that's why politics and everything has fallen apart so much. Then the question always keeps coming back to me, well, if society is in this part, and we've got all this relativism, what can I do about it? Well, what I can do is just start at home. What I can do is just start in my community. And what I can do is reach out and start trying to dialogue with the people around me. Dialogue with others to understand better what racism is about. Talk to others of other skin colors, of other creeds, of other cultures, of other things. Should just to just understand things from their perspective, to just understand, what racism is about from their perspective, and to really be able to look inwardly at my own beliefs and my own systems, right? And where, you know, where the truth might really lie, right? That we each have to bring our different perspectives together to be able to dialogue on that. And I think that's just important. We can't solve all the world's problems. We can't solve all the nation's problems, but we can start at home. We can start here in our community, just reaching out to those that are around us and starting the dialogue there.
St. Paul wrote in his letter to the Philippians that, but in humility, consider others as more important than yourselves. How important is that to achieving the common good, Father?
Well, that is the base point, right? If we're going to achieve the common good, that we've got to listen to the other. We've got to consider their good, their welfare, right? Even more important to ours. If everybody does that, if everybody's willing to sacrifice, that's the only way that we can work to treat the common good. That if we're all looking out for just what's in our own best interest, what's our own thing, then there's no way to do it. So we must be able to reach out and in our dialogue, in our talking, find that common ground, find that area. Each of us make a little bit of a sacrifice to find that common ground. That's the only way that we can pursue the common good. And that starts with our leaders, right? That's why Jesus says, in the day, I'm meek and humble, right? So come to me if you're weary, because I'm meek and humble, right? That we need that humility, but unfortunately today our leaders, just think about themselves, right? Our politicians just about being reelected, and we've really lost that search for the common good, and that search what's good for all the country. Everybody is just out looking out for themselves. And so that's why it's just so important that we start this dialogue, and we start it here in our homes, here in our community, looking out for each other, finding that common good. That's why, especially in these difficult times, that's the only way we can make it through it, is by really coming together as a community, and helping each other, and understanding how each other is suffering, and what we can do to help each other as we all together in this community seek out that common good.
Father Pat, thank you for your leadership and your guidance, and we'll talk to you later this week.
All right. Thank you.